Hey, welcome back. My name is Emmanuel, and if you struggle with porn or if you know someone who struggles with porn, you are at the right place at the right time. And what we're going to go over right now is the last step of the 7 steps we've been going over, which is creating a lifestyle for freedom. And this one right here is so incredibly powerful. When you implement these things, this gives you that long lasting freedom. This is kind of the maintenance mode right here. And I'm going to share this with you. Can't wait to dive in. So, the big key concept that you need to understand is every choice either leads to freedom or death. And we talked earlier about halt the BS. So, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, bored, stressed. Now, all of these things are about setting them and then forgetting them, right? You need to check in with them every once in a while, make sure that you're good. But what I mean by that is this: when you're hungry, you not knowing what you're going to eat for breakfast or lunch or dinner or for your snack, not having a good diet in place, that's a boyish behavior. You're a man. Sit down for an hour, figure out what you're going to eat for that week, for that day, for that whatever. But you going throughout a day, I haven't eaten anything in 12 hours. What are you, stupid? Get some food in your stomach. It's going to change your life. Just doing that alone, not being hungry all the time, eating good food so you have good energy will change so much for you. When it comes to things like smoking and drinking, you don't need to do those things anymore because you've handled the pain. If you're like, I haven't watched porn in 3 months, but I've become an alcoholic. Well, you didn't handle the pain that was going on inside. You can be an addict for the rest of your life if you want to, or you can have freedom. That choice is up to you. But you should no longer be going to these things like smoking and like drinking and like all these things because these are peripheral problems. And if you are still feeling really strongly to go to these things, you need to go back because you did not handle that root cause of the pain in the right way. So make sure that you go back, you handle that, and then you start moving forward. Now, when it comes to things like being angry, right? Have you done a good job to handle your work life? Are you in a job that you want? If you're not, are you working towards what you want to be? I don't know what I want to be. Well, then you need to sit down and be going, what is this life all about? What am I trying to do? What am I trying to become? You need to think about that. Where's your anger coming from? Where do you most of the times get angry? Are you lonely? Yeah, I'm a loner. I like to be by myself. No, you were not created to be alone. You were created to be in community. Are you tired? Are you a little boy who needs to be told what time to go to bed? No, you're a man. You don't need someone to tell you. You should know, hey, this is when I go to bed. This is when I do this. I am going to bed. I'm going to have good energy because all these things are going to work together. I'm going to share this with you in a second. And then are you bored? Do you have a game plan of things to do when you're bored? I went on a business trip recently, and it's like I'm not just sitting in my hotel room like I used to and just watching porn for 3 hours. No, I went to the driving range. I went out to a really fun restaurant. I went out and saw some art exhibit or whatever, right? You go see a movie, whatever. Do you have fun activities that you are doing? And then are you stressed? Like we talked about, are you talking through, hey, why am I feeling stressed with these situations? Is it actually because of the situation or is it because I'm internalizing it in a certain way? My boss yelled at me, told me I'm worthless. Do you believe that you're worthless? Are you buying into that? Or are you believing in what God has already told you, which that you have value, that you have worth? Whatever that person's saying is not true. And if you have that biblical truth that you're relying on, you're not going to fall for those lies of the devil that that person is trying to tell you right there. So when you do all these things, it makes life so much easier to not watch porn because all these things work in a cycle. When you get good sleep and then you eat good food and then you work out and then you have a job that you go to that you love and then you have all this energy and you feel good and you're able to be present with your wife and your children and your kids and all this stuff. And then you go out and you have sex with your wife that night and then it leads in this cycle. Cycle, and you feel good and you feel good and feel good. And it keeps going better and better and better and better and better. And all of a sudden your life is completely transformed. Guys, this is why when people quit watching porn, they're happier. They have more sex with their wife. They get in way better shape. They start making more money. Their entire life transforms because it's not about porn. It's about how do we handle the pain in the right way. And what it ultimately comes down to is trusting in God. We already know all of these things, right? God tells us to not be a sloth. He tells us to work hard. He tells us to be slow to anger. He tells us to be in community. Everything that I'm teaching you is from that good book. Okay, so one of the last things I want to share here is when you start doing these things, you're going to have so much more energy. And then the question becomes, I want to use that energy in the right way. So working out is a huge one. That's why, again, people get in such good shape because they have so much natural energy. You were born to have lots of energy. When you're watching porn all the time, you're tired, you're sleepy, you're not focused. No, that's why you can focus on your work. You can work out. You get to have better sex, more sex, all that good stuff. And sometimes people think, well, I'm going to be having sex all the time and I could never be tamed and all this stuff. Guys, I want to pause for a second. There was a study that was done. It was really interesting. And it talked about how married couples, when they have sex at least once a week, their happiness levels is really high. Now, if they have sex twice a week, it didn't become twice as high. It stayed the same. But if you go less than once a week, it starts to dip down drastically. And really, when you think about it, and when you gain freedom from porn, what you're going to find is you're really only horny like once a week. You're not horny 24 hours a day all the time. That's pain disguising itself as horniness. You're actually only horny about once a week. But when you think about that with your wife, it's not we need to be having sex 1,000 times. No, use that energy to work out. Use that energy to have sex once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. Hey, all that's great. But it's not going to be the situation where I'm going to be wanting to have sex 1,000 times a day. If you want to have sex 1,000 times a day, that's probably a problem, right? There's something going on. There's a root cause that has not been handled. You're just trying to get it out in a different way. So I just want you to understand that here as well. But I want to go over this last thing right here. This one for long-term freedom is so incredibly powerful. It's called paying it forward. When I gained freedom from this, I had a choice. I could just say, you know what? I'm done. I found freedom in my own life, but we're just going to kind of end the story there. But instead, we said, you know what, we're going to pay it forward to the next person. We started sharing our story. And then when that happened, we started to receive messages. Hey, you saved my marriage. Hey, I was going to commit a crime. I didn't commit that crime. Hey, I was going to end my life. I didn't end my life. And guess what? That inspired us. And then we started inspiring more people, and they started inspiring other people, and they started inspiring us. And it all kept moving forward and moving forward and moving forward. And my challenge to you is this. I want you to think of 3 people that you could send this podcast series to. And I want you to send it to them. 3 people. Because you have no idea how much good that can do by just reaching out and sharing this hope and freedom to that person. It could change not only their relationship, their children's relationship. And when you go to heaven one day, God's going to show you, hey, by you having that kernel, faith of a mustard seed, you moved mountains. You changed the world for my glory. So guys, pay it forward because this is incredibly, incredibly powerful. It will inspire you so much more than you ever could have imagined. Now, we're at the end of the 7 steps right here. What your next steps is to follow these steps, to put them into practice. And if you need help with that, you need to go to teamvulnerable.com. We can work with you one-on-one. We got programs, we got resources, we got all amazing stuff for you right there. But go to teamvulnerable.com and take those next steps. Talk to us. Go through our programs. Whatever it is we can help you with, just let us know. We are here for you because we know what type of good your freedom from porn can do for the world. So I'm so proud of you for being here, but now you got to take those next steps. Start going through those steps. If you need any help at all, we are here for you. We've helped 800 plus people through this. So do not believe that you can't do this. You can, right? I've worked with people who they jerk off once a year and they need help. I've worked off people that jerk off 365 times a day, right? The opposite. And guys, if you follow these principles, it works. It works. And all you got to do is just take one step in the right direction. So go to teamvulnerable.com, take those next steps, and start finding that freedom that I know that you can have. Glad that you're here. Like I said, like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Go to teamvulnerable.com. I'm proud of you. Way to go. Looking forward to working with you soon.